Hello, Cosmos Explorers. Welcome back to the Cosmosphere. Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondering if we're alone? Out there, beyond the clouds and the stars we know, lies a world that has haunted our imagination for centuries. A crimson planet, cold, distant, and silent. Mars, a world once thought to harbor alien life. A world that might, one day, become our second home. This isn't just a story about a planet. It's a story about obsession, exploration, survival, and a mirror of what we were, what we are, and what we might become. This is Mars. Welcome to the Red Frontier. Long before we had rockets, before telescopes, Mars was already calling to us. Ancient astronomers from Babylon, Egypt, India, and China noticed a fiery red wanderer among the stars. To the Romans, it was Mars, the god of war. To the Greeks, Ares. In Hindu cosmology, Mangala. It wasn't just a light in the sky. It was an omen, a symbol of destruction, power, and mystery. In the late 1800s, Italian astronomer Giovanni Schiaparelli observed strange canali channels on the Martian surface. The world misunderstood. They heard canals, man-made structures. A myth was born that intelligent life lived on Mars. Enter Percival Lowell, an American astronomer who popularized the idea of Martian civilizations. He built an observatory and for years mapped a network of canals he believed were made by dying Martians, desperately trying to transport water. It wasn't science, it was hope, and it captivated the world. Books were written. H.G. Wells imagined an invasion from Mars in the War of the Worlds, a tale that would later panic millions when turned into a 1938 radio broadcast. And so, even before we truly saw Mars, we dreamed of it, we feared it, we hoped for it. But as the 20th century dawned, so did a new age, an age of real exploration, the space age. And what we found was even stranger than fiction. Mars is cold, Mars is dry, but it is not dead. It's a world of vast canyons, silent dunes, and ancient riverbeds, a desert frozen in time. The surface of Mars is coated in iron oxide, rust. That's what gives it its haunting red glow. But don't let that fool you. This is a place of extremes. The average temperature, minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The atmosphere, 1% the thickness of Earth's, made mostly of carbon dioxide. There's no breathable air, no ozone, and no magnetic field to protect against radiation. Yet evidence shows Mars once had rivers, lakes, even oceans. Scientists have found signs of ancient deltas and shoreline patterns. Evidence that billions of years ago, Mars was wet and possibly habitable. Mars isn't just barren, it's colossal. Meet Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system. Standing at 13.6 miles high, it's nearly 3 times taller than Mount Everest. Its base would cover the entire state of Arizona. Nearby lies Valles Marineris, a canyon system so massive it stretches over 2,500 miles long. That's the distance from New York to Los Angeles. These aren't just impressive, they're clues. Clues that Mars was geologically active, with moving crust and violent volcanic activity. But what caused it to stop? Why did the planet go quiet? Some theories point to its small size. It cooled faster than Earth. Others suggest that without a magnetic field, solar winds stripped its atmosphere away. Mars may seem still, but it breathes. Every 2 Earth years, Mars experiences a dust storm season. Storms so large they can cover the entire planet. Winds can reach 60 miles per hour. Not enough to knock over a rover, but enough to darken the skies for weeks and choke out solar power. These storms are powered by sunlight heating the surface, creating temperature imbalances. Mars, despite being cold, is thermally volatile. And yes, Mars has seasons, just like Earth, thanks to its axial tilt of 25 degrees. But Mars' seasons are longer. A single Martian year lasts 687 Earth days. And without oceans to moderate heat, the swings are brutal. Water, the elixir of life, and the greatest mystery of Mars. Once, water flowed on Mars. Now we search for where it went. In 2018, the European Space Agency's Mars Express detected what could be a liquid water lake beneath the planet's south pole, buried beneath ice and dust. And NASA's rovers, Spirit, Opportunity, Curiosity, and Perseverance have found sulfate salts, mineral veins, and clays, all signs of water's past presence. Mars has frost, water vapor, and ice caps. But liquid water, that remains elusive and essential for life. Which brings us to the question, could Mars ever have supported life? Maybe not intelligent life, but microbial life. The odds are real. In 1996, a Martian meteorite found in Antarctica sparked global headlines. Inside were structures some believe to be fossilized bacteria. The debate continues. Today we use robotic rovers to drill beneath the dust. We search for biosignatures, molecular fingerprints of life. We're not just asking, was there life? We're asking, could there still be life now? Hidden under the surface, shielded from radiation, waiting. For centuries, Mars was only a red dot in the night sky. Then it became a question. Now, it's a destination. Space agencies across the globe, NASA, ESA, China, and private players like SpaceX are racing to send humans to Mars. Elon Musk's Starship project envisions a future with thousands of people living on Mars. NASA plans to launch crewed missions in the 2030s. These aren't just ideas. They're engineering projects, already in motion. But getting there is just the beginning. Mars is not Earth. To survive, we must become something more adaptable. First, there's radiation. Mars lacks a magnetic field and thick atmosphere. Cosmic rays as solar flares can be lethal. Colonies will need to be buried underground or shielded with thick walls, possibly even using Martian regolith as protection. Then there's air and water. No oxygen, no rivers, no rain. So we bring life support or create it. NASA's MOXIE experiment on Perseverance has already demonstrated how we can convert CO2 from the Martian atmosphere into oxygen. Ice can be mined and purified for water. Food grown indoors, hydroponically. Every system must be closed-loop, efficient, and resilient. It's not just survival, it's a new kind of living. Colonizing Mars isn't about planting a flag, it's about building a future. What kind of society would we build starting from scratch? Would we repeat Earth's mistakes or evolve past them? Governance, economy, education, all must be reinvented. Mars could become a cradle of innovation, a laboratory for social systems untested on Earth. Or it could fail, tragically, if we're not prepared. The first settlers will be engineers, farmers, scientists, medics, not just astronauts, but founders of a new world. Why go through all this? Why Mars? Some say it's for survival, a backup for humanity if Earth fails. Others say it's about exploration, fulfilling our innate need to discover. But maybe it's something deeper. Maybe Mars reminds us of who we are and what we can become. To terraform a planet, to plant trees on red soil, to watch children grow up under a salmon sky. That's not just science. That's hope. And hope is humanity's most powerful fuel. Mars may be our future, but it's also a mirror, showing us the fragility of our own planet. Before we escape Earth, we must cherish it. Before we plant seeds on Mars, we must restore what we have. Mars challenges us to think bigger, dream farther, and act wiser. In the end, we don't go to Mars because it's easy. We go because it makes us better, as explorers, as stewards, as one species, reaching for the stars. So, after crossing billions of kilometers through space and centuries of human imagination, we arrive at a simple, profound question. Are we meant to stay on Earth, or are we destined to become wanderers among the stars? Mars is not just a planet, it is a test of our courage, our technology, our unity. A blank page in the great book of human history, just waiting for us to write the next chapter. And yet Mars is not easy. It is dry, cold, silent. It does not welcome life. It demands that we adapt. It forces us to evolve. But maybe that's the point. Because through struggle we grow, through challenge we innovate, and through distant red dust, we find a mirror of our deepest dreams. We've sent machines to explore. Someday we'll send people. And one day, a child born on Earth may take their first steps not in a backyard, but on Martian soil. When that day comes, we will look back and say, this is where it began. Not on Mars, but in the hearts of those who dared to believe. Thank you for traveling this far with us. If you enjoyed the journey, don't forget, subscribe to Look Up. Because the next great story is already waiting in the stars.